I'm gonna squat down for this one. What is up, all you beautiful people? It is I, AkemiTCG, back with the brand new vlog, episode 12, Road to Nationals. And what am I playing? I know my table is a little bit of a mess right now, but I actually haven't brought one of these decks to Road to Nationals yet. So we're playing this deck today, Dogma, except I'm not playing any of these cards, and I'll explain why. I've never taken Yu-Gi-Oh seriously before. I'm going to Nationals, and I'm going to share my journey with all of you. Ready? It's probably gonna get a 9. 3, 2, 1. So why Dogmatika? I just like the deck. I genuinely like the deck. Initially, when I picked it up, I'm like, yeah, this deck is kind of meta, super competitive, not good for the soul. But then I kept playing it, and I genuinely like the playstyle. I like the control aspect of the deck, and I think it's fun. So I've been tinkering with the side deck and the extra deck for it for pretty much the past hour or so. And I wanted to play some spicy techs. I'm going to show you guys what those are. So my two spicy techs are, one, Super Poly. I know Alistair just meshes with a lot of stuff, and also Starving Venom and Mud Dragon are still cards, so I really like those cards. And also, secondly, Waking the Dragon. I don't know, a lot of people are going to be more prepared for Eldritch. And Waking the Dragon, if you Cosmic or you MST that card, you still get your summon. So what are we playing? We're playing Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon. And if you have Waking the Dragon and you don't have Ultimate Falcon, that's fine. I just summon Mikaba and I do my thing. So one more thing. Stay tuned at the end where I reveal one of my cards, one of my most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh cards, getting a grade back from BGS. Anyways, let's go to locals. We're back, no copyright. With two here.
Sup?
Are you excited for locals?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not playing double shot energy drinks today?
Nope.
Okay, so I think he's ready.
Yeah.
Are you ready to whip it?
Yes.
At the new format?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are back here. Oh shoot, my mask is falling off. Oh no. But in Great Stories, what is your goal today? What is your record you want to be?
Undefeated.
Yeah, that's the spirit. You know it's 5 rounds, right?
Oh shit, what?
The Stairs of Doom. Hello. It's locals time. It's locals time. Woo! Woo! Yo, it's locals time, dude. It's locals.
Yo, what up?
What up?
You have money, Mud Dragon?
It's local. I don't. Wait, he might. You have money?
What's
it's
up,
locals
man?
time. Yo, I saw that video. It's fire.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up? Locals time. We got an exclusive player interview. We got our boy Steven here. What's up, man?
Yo, I haven't dueled since November, man. Actually,
you haven't dueled since
I dueled
November.
on Sunday, but now it's like the first time come back to a Tuesday. So
okay, really how you feel about this ban list? Good?
Honestly, it's fair. It's good because Zexal's an asshole. Calamities is an asshole too. So it kind of balances the game out. Yeah, Misk is still at 3 and Mystic Mind is still at 3, which is crazy. So
oh, wait, you playing Dinos? Why are you complaining about Misk?
Oh, I'm not complaining, but even if Misk is at 1, I'll still play Dinos, baby. If UCT's banned, I'll still play Dinos. There's always an alternative, you know? I'm just loyal to dinosaurs like that. I don't think I excited me.
What's good, Fury?
Not much. Is he okay with this? No, he's not.
In 3 words, describe the ban list.
Rank up magic.
Very fun dueling.
I think it was needed.
Amazing.
I like it.
It's alright.
Very fancy dragon can kiss my ass.
Great. Dinos is still fire.
Needs less mine.
A hero lives to 3.
Yo, Heroes Tier 1.
Buster Lock is back.
It's a thing.
Glorious. Give me Electromate.
I don't care.
Give me engage.
Balanced.
Now we're gonna start the tournament shortly. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do well. We're gonna be positioned right here. Let's kill it. We're back. We're gonna kill this tournament. It's gonna be epic. And round 1, I am playing against Dragon Link. This is arguably going to be the tier 1 deck for the meta. Not the best deck, but one of the best decks for the meta, based on my speculation. So, anyways, he wins the dice roll. So obviously he's going first. He's gonna try to make a board. My deck is not suited for board breaking. Like if he's making like 4 or 5 negates, I really don't have anything to go against it unless I open Droplet, just as a heads up. He starts off with a Ravine, sending Absa Rider, which lets him combo a little bit, but then I think he just realized his hand wasn't too optimal for making Guard Dragon plays. He just needed one more extender. He just didn't have it. So straight up he just summons Verte Anaconda, pays the 2k, and summons Dragoon. I don't have anything for that. I don't have Imperm. I don't have Valor for the Anaconda, so it just goes through. On my turn to activate Pot of Prosperity, I pay the cost, and then he plays Ash. Then I play Nadir to bait out his Dragoon. So he uses Dragoon negate, he discards a card, then I chain Droplet, sending the Nadir that's face up on the field, because again, it is cost to negate his Dragoon. I then grab an Ecclesia off of Nadir, but to be very honest, I completely forgot to send a card from the extra deck to the graveyard. I was trying really hard to ult KM at this point, but I just realized I just couldn't do it. So this is 100% my fault, so my bad to any of the viewers watching. So I crashed my Ecclesia into his half Dragoon. So it's just Dragoon's at 3,000. It's cut down to 1,500 because of Droplet. Ecclesia can't be destroyed by battle with cards summoned from the extra deck. So I just crashed into that. During the main phase 2, I realized he only has 1 card in his hand. I don't want to give him any opportunities to beat me the next turn. So I literally played 3 Tactical Talents because earlier on he did activate Effect Filler. So I shuffled that card in his hand back into his deck. So he just draws, passes to my turn, and then I just attack with Ecclesia, set 1. Going back to his turn, he activates World Legacy Guard Dragoning, summons Rocket Tracer back, then special summons Noctivision Drag. On resolution, after he summons the Noctivision Dragon, I super polymerization his cards and summon Starving Venom Fusion Dragon.
Oh, 2 darks, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Thought we were friends.
On my turn, I just summon Fleur and attack for game. Going to game number 2, I'm actually surprised about his choice here. He lets me go first because I'm pretty sure he saw the Super Poly. He's like, oh, you're planning to go in second version. But little did he know I want to go first with this deck against Dragon Link specifically. I activate Magical Meltdown and summon Alistair to get Invocation. Then I do my Shoot the Whoop, Almirage, and the Gardna into Makaba. Then I set 1 and pass. On his turn, he normal summons 1 Phalanx, and I realize his hand is pretty spaghetti. If you're normal summoning Phalanx in like a 50-card Dragon Link deck, you have a bad hand, I'm sorry to say, unless he has more extenders. He summons Striker Dragon, and he grabs Boots at the launch. He plays World Legacy Guard Dragon, and whatever card he targeted with World Legacy Guard Dragon, I just chain Ice Dragon's Prison to it to banish both the Phalanx and the Striker. I then normal summon Alistair, and then use Invocation to summon Purgatrio, and then hit for 5k with both the Makaba and the Purgatrio. I then set 1 and pass. He normal summons Rocket Tracer on his turn to summon Striker Dragon. He then uses Striker Dragon's effect, and I banish both the Tracer and the Striker. Again, because I have another Ice Dragon's Prison. I opened 2 Ice Dragons in prison, okay? This is really good against this particular matchup, unless he has Harpy's Feather Duster. And on my turn, I just attack for game. And that is match 1. Match number 2. I am playing against, if you haven't guessed it, Dinos again. So there's a lot of Dino players at my locals, and I realize Lantia is very good in the main, particularly for the locals, and also just this format in general with the Dragon Link and Eldritch. So I am maining Artifact Lantia, just a heads up. So I win the dice roll, and I go first. I play Magical Meltdown, he shotguns the Ash, then I set 2 and pass. In this case, I actually didn't have Alistair in hand, nor did I have Invocation, so I was kind of in a bad spot. So on his turn, he plays Extravagance, then off of the Extravagance, he drew into the Nuts. That's pretty good.
Drop was game.
Yeah, you killed it, dude. That was really good. That was really good.
I gotta buy that.
That was good, that was good, that was good.
You know when they watch this, people like, oh!
You draw the alpha extra?
Yeah.
That's disgusting. So after getting wrecked by Harpy's Feather Duster and pretty much losing all my resources to potentially win the game, he normal summons Oviraptor, grab Miscellaneousaurus. He dumps the Miscellaneousaurus, and on resolution, I chain Artifact Lancia so he can't go into pretty much the rest of his plays. In hindsight, if I had used Lancia during standby phase, he wouldn't have gone Extravagance off, but there's no way I could have known that he had Extravagance in his hand, so that just happens. So he then sets one and passes. On my turn, I simply just set one and pass. He then uses Fossil Dig on his turn, grabs another miss, goes to the Archosaur play, makes a gigantic board with Logia, UCT, and friends, then attacks for game. My set card actually was an Ice Dragon's Prison, but instead of him playing into it with Evozadoka, he ended up making Logia, which is the better play, because no matter what that back row is, unless it's a speed spell 3, he has complete control of the game at that point with just one set. Game number 2. I actually sat in all my going second cards and let him go first, just to try to throw him off a little bit. So he activates Lost World, normal summons Archosaur, which lets him pop his baby in hand and summon Oviraptor. He then makes a gigantic board ending in Logia, Gardener, and UCT. On my turn, I normal summon Alistair and grab Invocation. I'm assuming he's waiting for the Logia negate on when I use Invocation. So I then go to Almirage and then go into Secure Gardener. I activate the Invocation and then he uses Logia to attempt to negate. I chain the Droplet, send the Invocation, Lightning Storm, and Ash. Pretty much what I'm doing right here is, with Secure Gardener, I know the first battle damage he's going to take is just going to be nullified, so I negated the Gardener with that. The UCT, so he can't do the flipping shenanigans, and also the Logia, so my Invocation goes through. So I make Purgatrio, drop Alistair, and pretty much attacking everything is going to be game. Because Purgatrio's a very, very strong card. Game number 3, I open up Prosperity, he plays Ash, after I play for cost. There was a big memory card issue, I don't really know what caused this issue, I am looking into it. So the rest of the footage was actually missing. But basically what happened was I opened several traps with Alistair and I pretty much walled him out for game. Welcome to match number 3, I am playing against Dinos again, unfortunately, but also fortunately because I understand the matchup pretty well. Just as a heads up, this is going to be a crazy match, so buckle up your seatbelts, get ready. So game number 1, he wins the dice roll, he normal summons Oviraptor, grabs Miscellaneousaurus, he then drops Miscellaneousaurus and on resolution, I activate my Artifact Lancia. He passes to me because, you know, really can't do much after that. So on my turn, I activate Prosperity, I grab Alistair, then I do the basic bread and butter play with Alistair, you guys have seen it before, and on Gardener and Macabre, since I banished my Lancia off of Invocation. I special summon Maximus and then send Winged Pegasus and Titaniclad. I set one, and during the end phase, I special summon Ecclesia off of Titan and grab Fleur. He special summons Pancratops and uses it to pop my Macabre. I'm obviously not going to negate that because, you know, I don't want to -1 for free. And then he plays Lightning Storm to kill both my Maximus and my Garden. I then gamble here on resolution. So he only has 3 cards in hand, and I'm thinking, what is the offset chance he has another Miscellaneousaurus in hand? So I preemptively flip Ice Dragon's Prison to attempt to banish both his Oviraptor and miss, but unfortunately, he has a second miss, so basically I'm reviving back his miss, and he can just pop it off of Oviraptor, and then so basically he just pops off and goes for game. I honestly should have waited on Ice Dragon's Prison here, which is 100% my fault. I'm not sure if I could have salvaged this one, but that was definitely a mistake on my part. I just gambled too hard there. Game number 2. He normal summons Oviraptor, grabs Miss, and just uses Double Evil to end on UCT and Oviraptor. I think he just doesn't want to heavy commit to a board because he's worried I might have something for him. I'm not quite sure here. So he's saving the Miss for an upcoming turn. I activate Nadir, sending Natis to grab Maximus. The reason why I'm sending Natis here is I do want to bait out the Misk, and you're going to see why in a second. With the Natis, I attempt to pop up the UCT and forces out his Miss, obviously. Then I use Maximus to send Wind Pegasus and Titaniclad. Because he did end up using Mist during the main phase, I can play 3 Tactical Talons and to put the last card in his hand, which is Harpy's Feather Duster, back into his deck. I normal summon Ecclesia and then he changed UCT to flip my monsters face down, but I end up grabbing Dogmatika Punishment. So I pretty much set 3 and on end phase, I grab Ecclesia with Titaniclad. If he draws into Lightning Storm or Harpy's Feather Duster, I'm going to be super tight, because now he has no cards in his hand. But he draws into something better, which is Pot of Extravagance. That's crazy. I'm terrified, but I chain to that exact same chain of Pot of Extravagance to banish his UCT and miss. Because he has no cards in hand, this is 100% safe. He then sets one and passes his turn. I flip my Maximus and Ecclesia face up. Then I use my Maximus, but he chains Gamma. I simply go to the end phase and pass, so he can just lose, you know, his Gammas and make sure they're banished. So every time he draws into another Gamma for the rest of the duel, it's gonna be a break. He normal summons Oviraptor to grab Mist and proceeds to go into battle. He declares an attack on Ecclesia, so I chain Punishment to pop his Oviraptor and use Natis to pop his back row, which I believe was an impermanence. So it goes back to me, I normal summon Ecclesia, grab another Punishment, and attack with both. I'm like, where is the other part of the engine? Like, where is it? So it goes back to him, he drops Miss again, and then on resolution, I chain Copper the Grid to prevent him from making any more plays. So he then sets one and passes. I activate Nadir, sending Makaba, grabbing back my Maximus from the graveyard. I special Maximus and send 2 more cards out from my extra deck just to force him out to thin out his extra deck. So now if he draws into Extravagance, he can only draw for 1 instead of 2 because he only has 5 cards left. So I tribute summon Fleur-de-Lis just to get over all of his cards, because 3k, pretty much the only thing he could run over Fleur-de-Lis with is UCT. And that's going to put him in a tricky situation. That's why I do the tribute summon there. So he doesn't have anything else, so he scoops. Game number 3. Oh boy, game number 3. I activate Nadir's Servant, sending Titaniclad to grab Ecclesia. I normal summon Ecclesia and he imperms it, so I set one and proceed to the end phase, grabbing Fleur-de-Lis off of Titaniclad. He then uses Extravagance and then dusters me. I'm like, damn dude, you legendary. Legendary. He then uses Fossil Dig to grab Oviraptor and sends Miss. When he uses Miss's effect to banish, I play Ash, which prompts him to end his play and just swing with Oviraptor. On my turn, I use Meltdown, grab Alistair, and I summon Alistair and he ashes it. So I just make the Garna and summon Fleur-de-Lis and swing with both. So basically here, I'm just trying to put more and more pressure on him. The Fleur-de-Lis is kind of not too great in the hand right here because I don't have Ecclesia on the field. So it just made sense for me to just put life point pressure on him. But on his turn, he Lightning Storms my front row and then he passes. I just don't really do much on my turn, so I pass again. He plays double Evil Pill. On battle, he attacks me with UCT, but I use Dogmatika Punishment, sending my Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon to get rid of his UCT, because it's exactly the same amount of attack actually. So my turn just pass. The next turn is normal summons Oviraptor and attacks. And this is like a lot of back and forth. This is actually insane. And then on the turn after that, I go into battle. I use Ice Dragon's Prison to revive his UCT and attack over his Oviraptor with his own UCT. On the next turn, he Kaijus the UCT, he Kaijus his own UCT, and then sets a monster in a back row and passes. On my turn, I normal summon Ecclesia and grab Maximus. I use Maximus to send Natis and win Pegasus, and here is where I royally mess up. So in this situation, I thought his front row, his set card, was just a Baby Ceratosaurus, and I was playing that whole entire turn as if it was a Baby Ceratosaurus. So I pop his back row with Natis instead of his monster, and I realized in hindsight I should have just popped his monster, because if he had impermanence, he would have already used it on Ecclesia. He knows Ecclesia is a big threat to his strategy. So I literally attacked with Maximus, just banking on that just being under our 1500 attack, but it was an Ash Blossom, so I couldn't go for the win there. On the next turn, he plays Lost World, Oviraptor, and then bada bing bada boom, summons UCT for the win. I'm still kicking myself over this mess up. Match number 4. I am playing against Live Twin Eldritch. This is actually the first time I've played against the Live Twin variant. I believe I've played against the Eldritch Dogmatika version, and I think I played Pure Eldritch at one point, but I digress. Anyways, I win the dice roll, I go first, and I play Magical Meltdown to grab Alistair, and on Makaba with one set. He then normal summons one Live Twin to special another, and then makes Sky Cavalry Centaur. I did tell him that Sky Cavalry Centaur does activate during the damage step, and Makaba does negate stuff during damage step because it negates activations, but he then carries it on with it anyways because he already committed to the play. So he makes Curse Eldland, or he activates Curse Eldland, pays the 800 life points, and I ash him. He taps into Makaba and activates the effect to force myself to discard one card. He then sets 4 back row and passes. On my turn, I then normal summon Alistair and use his effect. He uses Haquero, Chainlink 2, and Sanguine Chainlink 3. Because Sanguine's Chainlink 3, he summons the Eldritch first, and then Haquero Chainlink 2, he banishes my other Alistair in my graveyard. But I then activate Invocation to summon Purgatrio and attack with Purgatrio twice, and then attack with Makaba directly. I saw his life points under 3,000, so I just flip Ice Dragon's Prison to revive his Eldritch and then attack him for game. Game number 2. He goes first and normal summons the pink Live Twin to summon the blue one. He then does the standard Live Twin combo ending on the Link Pink and then 2 set. Basically during the main phase, he gets to, I believe he gets to pop one of my cards by reviving the other one back. On my standby phase, he drops Artifact Lancia and I'm like, darn, I have Prosperity in hand. I believe I have the Alistar in hand to potentially make a play, but there's no point in me making a play if I can't even use Invocation on the same turn. So all I did was just set 1 and pass. On the end phase, he plays Sanguine, so I Ash that. On his turn, he summons the blue back, and then he plays Curse Outland, which prompts me to Ash him again. Yes, I did open 2 Ash. It was unfortunate, but also fortunate for this particular situation. He summons Unchained Abomination by using the 2 Link monsters on the field, and I realize I'm in trouble. With Abomination, he attempts to pop my back row, which forces me to flip Ice Dragon's Prison, which he then negates with Gold Spell. He attacks me for 3k, then he grabs Conquistador off of Sanguine and passes. On my turn, I play evenly, and here is his reaction.
Damn, you played that?
Yeah.
When it's summoned.
For you, man!
Yeah, no, this special summons it.
He keeps Abomination on the field, which is it's a toss-up between either keeping Abomination or an Outland. Outland can ensure you have a play next turn, but Abomination puts a lot of pressure on me to try to get rid of it. But he keeps that one on the field. During main phase 2, I use Prosperity to grab Alistar and then summon Makaba with Gardna by banishing his light. Then I summon Maximus and use Natis to pop his Abomination and pass. On his turn, he realizes he can't really do much, so he scoops. Welcome to the final match. I am playing against a very familiar deck that was used in the past with Linkross, Infernoble Knights. So I've actually played this deck myself at one point with the Linkross combo, and I liked it a lot. I just never showcased it on the channel. But I digress. He wins the dice roll, and then he goes first. Plays Upstart, normal summons Torn Scales, and uses Durandal to search for Fire Flint Lady. He uses other Torn Scales to send Boots and summons another PK, and then links for Isolde, which lets him search for Connector. He then uses the Isolde to summon Gemba and specials Gearfried from his hand afterwards, which protects him from a monster effect. Specifically, he's trying to be protected from Nibiru. He summons Hauki Fibrax and makes a board with Despot 1. Then goes into a Rorodon and summons Power to a Dragon, grabbing DDR. He special summons the Fire Flint, and this is where he messes up. He confused Fire Flint with Renaud. Renaud turns into a tuner. Fire Flint does not. So, you know, he's already committed to the play. He's already summoned the monster. So he fixes the board. He summons a Croc, and with the Croc and Gearfried, he uses Aurorodon's effect to attempt to summon the Colt Wing from his deck. I completely forgot Ash was in my hand at this point. I completely forgot. That was super my fault, because obviously I would have Ashed there. He got rid of his protection. He committed to overextending on the board. If I Ashed him there, his play would have stopped because he didn't have any other extenders in his hand. So he ends up on Herald, Aurorodon, and Charles. On my turn, I play Meltdown. He uses the Herald to negate. I normal summon Ecclesia, grab Punishment, then I set 1, and end phase he pops my Punishment with Charles. He plays Connector, and I drop Ash on it, but he summons Gearfried, and that's pretty much enough for a game. So me not using the Ash when he really messed up the board with Aurorodon actually literally cost me that game. Game number 2. So I let him go first because I'm hoping he just bricks, and I decided all my go in second stuff. So he sets 1 monster and passes. I use Desires. I normal summon Ecclesia to get Fleur de Lis. I swing into a push, which is Colt Wing because it has exactly 1500 defense. So I just set the Punishment and I pass. He then sets his Colt Wing to attack and then runs over my Ecclesia. He normal summons Despot 1, and this is a big brain play, okay? He normal summons Despot 1, synchros into Roland. He uses Autonomous Action Unit, pays his 1500 life points, grab my Ecclesia back to synchro summon Charles. I wait until he summons his Gearfried, and then when he uses Gearfried's effect to attempt to equip from the graveyard, I activate Nibiru because he's already summoned the 5. And on my turn, my hand's really bad, so I just swing over the token with Nibiru and pass. He normal summons Connected, which lets him summon Dolphin. I don't want him to see my hand. I don't want him to see how horrible this hand is. So I responded to the summon by using Punishment, but then he banishes the Charles with the Phoenix Blade, and then he revives Charles with DDR. He then uses connector, tributes it to bring back his dolphin. He discards one for cost. He sees my hand and realizes it's pretty bad. 2 evenlies, 2 invocation. I'm having a bad time. 2 evenlies, 2 invocation, 1 flirts. Like, probably one of the worst hands I've seen. So he runs over the Nibiru, and during the end of battle, I play evenly match, obviously, and during main phase 2, he equips Charles with Oliver, and I'm in a pickle. I play Nadir Servant, sending Wind Pegasus and grabbing Ecclesia. I'm turtling up right now, so I grab Maximus. With Maximus, I send Natis and Elysium, which I use Natis to pop his Oliver. During the next turn, he summons Gearfried, taking my Maximus and running over my Fleur. But at the end of the battle, I do play evenly. And on the turn after that, I concede because I just don't have an out to his cards. The Invoke package would have helped a ton, but other than that, I was in a really tight spot. I'm not sure if I could have won that one, if I could have played that any differently. Alright, we scrubbed out today. We have failed the mission, but we did have a lot of fun. So it was really, really good. I did end up going 3-2. What did you guys do?
I did. What, 1-4?
1-4?
Same.
And don't forget, guys, every day, every time we go to locals, that's a learning experience. I'm hoping you'll all enjoy the vlog. I will see you guys next time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed it. Bye, guys. Welcome to behind the scenes. Meet my crib. It's a mess right now, but that's okay. We have something back from Beckett. Guardian Angel Joan is one of the most expensive cards in recent Yu-Gi-Oh history. You can get it by winning a Instagram/Twitter sweepstakes raffle thing. And I brought it to Beckett. I do not think it's gonna get a 10. Probably gonna get a 9, 9.5. But we have it right here. Right here in Osborne. So we're gonna slowly. I'm trying so hard not to look at it, because if I look at it, it's gonna spoil it, because the color actually matters. Ready? It's probably gonna get a 9. 3, 2, 1. It's a 9. Look at this. Look at this beauty. I knew it was gonna get a 9 because actually I don't know about the centering. Oh, the centering is really bad on it. Wait, they didn't grade me this harshly on centering before. That's weird that the edges got a 10, but the surface got a 9.5. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. But this is a beautiful card. The corners. Actually, I don't know about the corners either. Oh, I see what happened. Konami, look at me. Konami, when you sent in this card, when you sent this card to me, you literally put it in a big ass box. They put no padding on it. The card was literally in the box. Don't do that. All right, we're trying to get good grades. All right, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. I'm AkemiTCG. I'll see you guys next time.
The world ends now.